Nothing gets my heart racing faster than topwater bass fishing. And when it comes to topwater baits, you can count on one bait tied onto my topwater rod this time of year. It's the greatest of all times of walking baits. It's the GOAT. That's the Zara Spook. Tried and true, proven for years. And stay tuned, we'll talk about techniques to land some nice ones like this one on the Zara Spook. Shane Flynn Outdoors, brought to you by Omnia Fishing. Experience the most personalized tackle shopping on earth. And MMA Fishing. Fight the bite. Also by Bent Rod Fishing. Get bent, stay bent.
What a big girl. Got him. That's a good one. That's a good one. Come on in here, buddy. Come on. Whoa. Oh, that's a Becky. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Woo! That's a big bass on the topwater right there. Yes. Got him on the old Zara Spook. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a hammer. What do you think, folks? Zara Spook right there. Early in the morning, Zara Spook. You can't beat that bait. It's a great walking bait, just a classic walking bait. Get you a big bass like this. Probably, this is 6.5 pounds, 7 pounds. I got to weigh her up for a tournament that I'm in.
So where do you throw the Zara Spook? I always like to start on main lake points. Early in the morning, late in the afternoons is when I like to fish on the main lake points and secondary points as well. If you know a submerged structure or grass, that's another place to throw the Zara Spook. Low light conditions are the best. You can actually catch them in the middle of the day with the Zara Spook, especially if they're chasing shad, busting the top of the water. The Zara Spook comes in handy. You can't fish it too deep or too shallow.
There's one. Come on, buddy. Yeah. Well, that's about a 2.5 pounder. Not a bad guy. Thanks for taking yourself off the hook. Nice little 2 pounder. Loves that Zara Spook. Man, this Zara Spook is a classic bait. You can't go wrong with it. Catch a fish like this, catch a 5 pounder, 6 pounder, 7 pounder, it's just a great all around bait. We'll get this one measured up. I got a little tournament going on.
One of the things I like to do when I fish the Spook is I like to make very long casts. It is a power bait. You're going to cover a lot of water fishing around the edges or fishing over submerged timber, whatever. But you want to make some long casts and you want to be moving a lot. But sometimes you miss. Right here, I get a strike, and it's a pretty nice hammer that I miss right here. And what do you do when you miss? When you miss a fish like that? Well, there's two things you can do. You can continue on. Sometimes you can let the bait set and then wiggle a little bit and you'll hit it. Or you can follow it up. If you've got like a Cinco or a Texas rig worm or something like that, you can throw right in there and maybe you get that bass, just like I do in this next catch.
Yep. Come on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a nice one. So I missed him on the Zara Spook and threw back right behind him with a Cinco and nailed him. Yes, sir. About a 3.5 pounder. So it pays once you're topwater fishing and you miss one. If you see that splash, have something ready to throw right behind it, and you can typically get that bass you missed.
That back and forth, walk the dog action is what really drives bass to strike the Zara Spook. But sometimes you have to change your rate of retrieve to get that strike. Especially if you got windy, choppy conditions, bass sometimes will hit behind the lure. So you have to slow it down just a little bit, especially if you know some hit behind it. Slowing it down will allow them to hone in on your bait and crush it.
There we go. Go on, bigot. Another nice one on the Zara Spook. Nothing wrong with that little guy. He wanted that spook. Boy, he hammered it too. He was not even messing around. Yeah, he hammered that spook. Nice and about 15-incher. We'll let him go.
One other thing to consider when you're fishing a Zara Spook is sometimes the giant bass will just come and suck that bait right off the top of the water and make a very little splash. And sometimes the little bass make the bigger splashes. Just be prepared. You never know what's going to be on the other end. A dink or a giant.
There we go. Come on, big boy. Scheme on in here. Yeah, another one on the Zara Spook. Boy, flop off as soon as they get the boat. Easy. Easy, buddy. Oh, there we go. Nice little pound and a halfer. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for the minor heart attack. It feels like I have a little minor heart attack every time they bust the top of the water, that spook. So I had a great day out here on the water catching fish, and the Zara Spook, as always, comes through. Let's call it the GOAT of walking baits. It's been around, it's tested, tried and true. You just can't go wrong with the Zara Spook. So if you're thinking about topwater, the Zara Spook for a walking bait, you can't beat it. You know I love the Pop R2. Some of these classic topwaters are really great. Don't get me wrong, there's great baits out there, but when it comes down to it, classics always come through. So everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in. Until next time, tight lines and good luck fishing.